Hello, horse lovers! So today I'm going to be doing some groundwork with Bagheera and tacking her up for it the first time. Let's see how she does. Finishing your breakfast? Okay. So first I'm going to start out grooming her. She is so fuzzy and soft right now, and I just think it's really great to spend time with her and bond, and she definitely loves being groomed, so it's super enjoyable. So right now I'm using my metal curry brush just to get any dirt or anything like that off of her, and then I'm following up with my soft brush to sweep it away. She really enjoys the grooming process, so it makes it really enjoyable for both of us, and again, it's a really great way for us to establish a relationship. She's so sweet. And now, of course, I'm going to pick up all 4 of her hooves. She is perfect about this, an absolute angel. A lot of times Amish horses are really good with picking up their feet because they're done and they're just used to it, so that's really nice. Very good. Okay guys, now it's time for saddling and tacking up. So of course, first I'm going to introduce the pad to her. Obviously, she gets a hot pink pad with flowers. Pink is going to be her color. I'm a pink girl. She's dark. She's going to be gorgeous and the hottest pink tack I can find. Yeah, so she was super cool with that. She kind of checked it out and then licked and chewed, so that was really awesome. And I'm just going really slow with this process, just making sure she's comfortable with each step. Okay, now I have my saddle. So I'm using my Black Country saddle on her. This is a hoop tree. She definitely has like large shoulders with a small wither, if any, and this will be a really good fit for her. I am actually going to do her tracings before we ride because I am a saddle fitter. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I'm going to be doing a saddle fitting series, so you'll be able to check that out in a couple weeks. And now I'm going to introduce the girth. She could care less about the girth when I showed it to her, so that's really good. So I'm just going to attach it on this side. I'm going to make sure not to tighten the cinch at all while she is tied, because if she was to have a reaction and she was tied up, it could be worse and it could cause her to have trauma from that. So I'm just going to keep it really, really, really loose, not tight at all. And then when I untie her and walk away, that's when I'll tighten her cinch. It's also important that when you do this, like after you have the cinch on, because it's loose, that you don't just like walk away and leave them, because if she was to shake, the saddle could slip under her belly and then you could cause a serious issue. So just keep that in mind if you're working with any horse really, but especially one that you're not sure what they'll do. Obviously she gets a treat. Okay, so as you can see, I walked her away and she is ground tied right now, and now I'm going to tighten the cinch. And I'm obviously not just going to tighten it all the way, and I'm adjusting the saddle and the pad too. But anyways, you're not going to just tighten it all the way. You're going to do it little by little. Otherwise, you're going to create a cinchy horse, especially when they're just getting used to everything. The last thing you want to do when you're putting a saddle on is just tighten that cinch up right away. Like, no. I end up tightening it like probably like between like 4 to 10 times or more, depending on the horse. She's also been really good about the entire process so far. She's been awesome about taking the pad, the saddle, and now cinching up a little bit. And I'm just having it tight enough so it doesn't fall off when we're doing groundwork, but again, little by little. And I am going to let the stirrups down so she can get used to that feeling of the stirrups being on her side. Because again, I have no idea what she's actually done. I know she was a driving horse, and again, I don't even know if that's for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's true, but I have no idea otherwise. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of groundwork. Again, I just want her to get used to moving with the saddle and the pad on her back and with the stirrups dropped down at her side. So we're just going to do a little bit of walk trot and see how she does. So far, she doesn't seem to mind anything, so that's really awesome. She's being super calm, really go with the flow. She's definitely willing and in tune and trying to do everything I'm asking her to do, so it's super sweet. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen Bagheera's story yet, you really need to check it out. It's super interesting, and the link is in the description below. So sometimes Bagheera gets a little confused about stopping on the lunge, so I brought her in close to me. She got a little bit too close, so I backed her up, had her switch directions, and then I immediately had her stop again because I want her to turn and face me. She'll stop, but sometimes she won't face me, so I'm just keeping her close and just kind of drawing her back in after she halts, and that was a lot better there. Okay, so now we're going to do some trotting on the lunge. She does not seem to mind the saddle or pad or the stirrups, so that's a really good indication that she's comfortable. And again, she's trying really hard. She's trying to focus. So that just makes everything so much easier, and she's really just a pleasant mare to work with. And she's responding to my vocal cues, asking her to slow down. Really good looking shoe there too. Okay, we're going back into trot again. So again, I'm just wanting to make sure that she's being responsive, again, that she's comfortable with the tack on, and just kind of going through what we've been doing previously, like with our groundwork, except just having the saddle and pad on. And again, she's being really cool. She, like I said, she's just really like go with the flow. And that's why I think she's going to be just like a really good youth horse all around, like beginner safe lesson type. So we'll see, but that's definitely what I'm feeling. Now I'm having her trot in this direction because it's very important to do things on both sides, okay? So you really want to make sure that if you do something on one side, you do it on the other, so that number one, the horse is balanced, and number two, they're used to you doing things on both sides. Really important there. And again, she's being responsive and really trying to tune in, being a really great girl. Also, if you're liking this channel and Bagheera's videos, please hit that like button because it'll help it spread to other people. And also if you comment, that helps it spread to people as well. We would really appreciate that. Bagheera is super relaxed right now. She just has her head nice and low. She's been licking and chewing. She's been responsive. All really, really good indicators that she's getting comfortable in her environment and that, you know, she enjoys that companionship and that relationship. So really pleased with her. Okay, now it is time to bridle up. So this will be the first time, obviously, that I've bridled her. I'm going to remove the rope halter and just put a little snaffle in her mouth and see how she does. And then what I'm going to do is put the rope halter back over it and just have her do a little bit of walk trot on the lunge, just to make sure there's no issues with her just carrying the bit. And then afterwards, we're going to do a little something else. And if you've made it this far, there is a surprise coming up. I'm excited. She did an absolutely excellent job taking the bit. I made sure to warm it up, and it literally just took her 1 second. She opened her mouth and she was really cool about everything. I love her. Okay, so back to groundwork. We're just again going to do a little bit of walk trot. Mainly, I just want to see if she fiddles with the bit at all, if there's any issues carrying it while she's moving. Is she going to be okay with the reins being on her side? Like all of those different kind of things. Just want to, you know, evaluate her and see what her comfort level is. And so far, she's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, you know, this is no big deal. She's acting the exact same way she was acting before, nice and relaxed, responsive, not fiddling with the bit, nothing like that. So really, really good signs. I'm very excited for what the future holds for Bagheera and for our partnership and in the program. Again, I think she's going to do well in the program once she is fine-tuned and settles in and she's comfortable and knows 100% that she's safe. You know what I mean? I cannot wait. Something that I teach all my horses while doing groundwork is if I go to my knees, I want them to stop and turn in. So I've been working on this with Bagheera. She's not quite there yet, but it's really important that they stop and turn in, because if I ever fall off, I've had so many horses like on the trail stop, because when you're down, they understand that means stop. So something I've been working on. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of in-hand work with her bridle on. Okay, normally I do not use my flag for this, and that's why I'm holding the opposite end. My other whips were outside, so yeah, normally I do not use my flag, but that's why I'm holding it this way, so the flag doesn't freak her out like the first time we're doing this in-hand work. So basically what I'm doing here is when I put that whip on the shoulder, it means halt. I'm not using the bridle too much. I'm more so just using my energy and just a tiny bit with the bridle so she understands that means stop. And I think this is really, really important to do in-hand work with horses. It builds their confidence, it promotes relaxation, and it allows them to have a better understanding in a more comfortable space, like with you on the ground. So as you can see here, I'm just going to ask her to turn a little bit and then put my whip on and ask her to halt. And she did perfect there. That was really good. So when I put the whip behind her butt, it's basically like my leg kind of asking her to move forward. Like obviously your leg isn't going to be on their butt, but when you're up there, that's kind of what it's acting like. And again, asking her to halt with her shoulder. This also comes in handy because if you go to put your hand on their shoulder, sometimes they correlate that with stopping, like under saddle. So it's really good. So our main focus during this in-hand session was stopping, going forward and stopping. And again, I'm just walking with her and very lightly asking her to turn a little bit here and use my whip to kind of keep her moving forward a little bit so she understands to keep walking. And then I'll ask her to halt. Perfect. Really good. So we're just going to continue walking forward, halting, doing very slight bends, and seeing how she responds to that. And after a couple minutes, she definitely was picking up on what I was asking her to do, which was really good. Super sweet. Now I'm just asking her to move her hindquarters a bit. She did really good. And I just want her to move them over again. And that's literally it. Just one little step, one little try. Really good. I'm not asking for much because she doesn't quite understand everything. She doesn't have the coordination, but just moving them over is a huge plus for the first time. Now I'm going to do the same with her shoulder. Again, I just want her to step a little bit over to the side. That's it. Perfect. Like, really good. It's these baby steps that matter, guys. This is where it starts, especially for a horse that who knows what she's gone through or what she's done before.
Good girl.
So I think overall that was a pretty good session. I'm really proud of her. She's such a good girl. And I will see you next time, horse lovers. I will be actually riding her when we post a video of her next. Say bye, Bagheera. See you guys.
So the session went so well that I decided we should end with some mounting. And you guys are going to see how she does. This is my first time mounting her, and I'm going to hope it goes okay. Really hope that she's accepting and trusts me enough for this step. So she's being good, but she's kind of putting her head side to side. She's a little unsure, a little confused. Hey, why is someone on my back? And again, I don't know, besides like what I saw in the auction ring, what she's actually done. So we're just going to sit here for a second and see, how she does and how she's going to react. She did it, guys. She's being awesome. I'm so happy.